friends, in this video let's look into the details about MEXT Scholarship rejections further into dark reality. What is actual reality? It can be harsh reality. You have to know the situations behind the rejections, the possible rejection reasons. What I could figure out, there are at least I listed about 9 reasons. Follow me until the end. I will share some insights that will be helpful to improve what you can do at the end. Whether or not the CGPA or the percentage plays a major role. People say often that CGPA doesn't matter, but only, to my opinion, only in the university recommended scholarship and only in particular schemes you'll get a green light, just because the scheme will be very particular and very specific, and there may be not so many applicants in that field. Maybe you are lucky. It's not always the case. Even if you are accept or reject, so this is the situation. So they had this option in the rejection criteria and they will take into considerations, and we are talking the competition in a big numbers, right? So this will be the always factor, the CGPA or the percentage. The another interesting factor, number 2, this is one of the interesting and very critical, because many people say that the documents doesn't really matter, the information is matters. Of course that is true, and what I'm saying is also true. Like, documents are important, documents quality is important, the information, but let's assume that you haven't edited, you haven't represented well the quality of the document, and you just put information and just send it to the person, and you're talking in the context of competition. So how you expect the person to read? So many times when you send like that, it's one of the main reason for rejections straight away. Like, they don't even look into your documents, they cannot understand what you're writing. So it's one of the another main reason. So be careful with your documents quality, the way you are presenting. Some of the documents I receive in the mail for review, and even when I see some CVs, but when I see some new scholars, they are doing similar mistakes. The resume quality or the data quality what you're presenting, the presentation style is not adequate. Many times maybe you're lucky if you're getting accepted. So it's one of the major factor, to my opinion, for the rejections of MEXT Scholarship application. Another interesting factor, third, number 3, the judgment. So we think sometimes it is not true and it's not right. People don't judge just by saying some things, but yeah, but it is possible. Like, people judge you when you receive the mail, when you send the documents. When I see certain words, or when the teachers or the reviewer see certain words in the documents or in the presentation, you are judged straight away because of this thing. Many times this is a factor of the preparedness and the laziness. So if something looks like that, let's say you sent a mail to professor and you appear seems to be like this, without the first, especially the first screening. After first screening, at least they give you some time to review, because you already passed the one screening. The first screening time, the first communication, it is another reason. Many times they ignore and they judge you, and you will not know, like we will not know as applicants, but the other side, they'll be judging you. So that's another reason. Another interesting reason, number 4, in this one, what I mean to say, number 4 is like the ratios we already discussed in the previous video about MEXT Scholarship rejections. That is also honest truth and reality you have to accept. Many times they reject because of the ratios, and even though they wanted to take, but they cannot explain you all these reasons, but it's possible to my observation. So the ratio, either gender ratio or maybe the region ratio, or the countries, like international scholars in this particular laboratory are so many in the past few years, so I think you may not get next year. So it's a ratio. So based on that ratio, also the rejection will happen, mostly, to my observation. So it's, you have to consider, but you cannot do anything about it. But whatever things you can do, what you can control in all these factors I'm discussing now, I'll summarize and share the suggestions at the end. So keep watching. Let me continue with the number 5. This is one of the favorite and interesting point, number 5. I have already checked and validated this information. So once I was interviewing in the channel, one person shared me that he sent the same document the beginning of the application, let's say the first week, and then he got accepted, but he sent same document the previous year, but he couldn't select. Now he's in Japan, so he's experienced, and I also validated last year from India. So we sent the same application, same document and same proposals in the beginning of the application time, the first few days, and then they got accepted in the first screen, they got shortlisted, so it is validated. So it could be the reason that when you don't give enough time for the teacher or for the committee when they review documents, so it may often filter and go to the spam folder. So imagine these are the official documents, so they will have their own servers, their own filters and softwares. Sometimes it will put in other place where they have to check and then manually retract the files. So that is one way this can be like unseen if you send last few days and we don't have any control about checking whether they verified your document and rejected properly, so we cannot do anything about it. So this is also another major factor for your straight rejection or maybe immediate rejections, even though you put your effort and time. The number 6, it's another interesting point. So the awareness, how the awareness matters for the scholarship or the applicant, may not be for all the cases, but it can be also the one of the significant factor for your rejections, the scholarship applications. Because if you have awareness about bilateral actions, what is happening between the countries and between the schemes, the technology collaborations, you may end up having less chances in the competition, because not everyone will be like you or maybe the fellow scholars, because they need the competition is, we are talking in a single digit the final selection, and the applications will be in 3 digits, 1,000, 2,000s. So the awareness also the plays a major role. One is in writing time, when you showcase that this can be a good research outcome for these particular countries by bilateral actions. Let's say Japan India, or Japan your country in Europe, or France or USA, the bilateral actions. That is one research side. And second one is that the bilateral actions will also the technological perspective, like the technically collaborated. They may don't use your techniques directly, but if you do, if you propose that way, it gives that awareness how much deeper you are considering. And also they may also think uh, that they may don't give you the same problem. Many times you may tend to adjust the problem, research problem, but it will end up that you will have awareness and you can use similar awareness for other research problems. So the bilateral awareness and knowledge also plays a major role. And interview time also, you can use the points. If you are aware, when they ask questions, you can put the technical answer, proper answer. So that these also plays a major role for your rejections. It can be beginning or it can be even interview time. This last 7, 8, 9, we will see from the student side what the mistakes, the possible mistakes, why it is getting rejected. So many times students, when they edit and when they revise, they often tend to get tired and frustrated and stressed up, and they somewhere they kind of end up they, okay, let me check. At that moment you may think like you wanted to skip and submit, but later when you get the rejection you will realize what you did wrong. So that's another possible major issue for your rejections from the student side. So from my experience, I given some reviews to some scholars. They could revise first time, they could not revise second time, they could not revise third time, some people. So they get bored and editing. So one thing is that that you're only giving the reason for rejection, and it's like if you revise you may had a chance to get selected. So that is another reason for the rejections, the MEXT scholarship rejections from the student mistakes. So you should not get tired. Of course it is boring sometimes to revise many minor things. That's how you get trained for this kind of research studies and studying abroad. So that is, I suspect, it's another reason for the rejection. The other, the simple and technical mistake from the student side is getting delay in the getting letter of recommendations and letters for the documents for submissions, like TOEFL, IELTS and LORs. It may be not a big reason, but it can be a reason because I said in the beginning, in the previous point. So when you get delayed in the documents and when you submit it later, so the committee or the professor may not even had a time those particular days, they may be busy, and they may don't open the spam folder if it went in attachments and all. So that's another reason for your rejection from a student side. So this also could be the potential reason. The last reason, some students get to underestimate or maybe think like they are good profiles to my opinion sometimes, but they don't they think like I'm not competent enough, there may be more. It's like underestimating oneself or self-doubting, but you are missing the opportunity. You are not putting proper preparation. So sometimes students think like this. I was witnessed they are having good profile and good possibilities, but because of lack of awareness, all these points, lack of awareness, lack of document preparedness, and kind of boring and stress, they end up losing the opportunity, and they because of all these factors they get self-doubt and stress. So that's another reason for the rejection, I would say, for the student, from the student side. So now let's look into the possible remedies, what you can do, all these factors. So these are the reasons, what you can control, what you cannot control. From my observation, let me share some my suggestions for you. The first one is the documents you can control, you can improve your quality, and you can try to revise again and again with patience. Try to control the tiredness and stress when you revise documents. That's the first one. Second one, you can easily control, that is the time of submission. So you can submit it early, don't wait for the deadline. Try to submit at least first of all, try to submit in the first few days. Be prepared for your documents. And second one, try to submit at least first month, not even in the last 2-3 weeks. So sometimes end up seeing the spam folder after 1 month also. So try to go for it. And the third point, I would say, like the mails. So the mails in communication, the words, keep it proper, try your best. So, and the last one, the awareness. Try to get the news readings or the article technical updates. So that will also be good for your acceptance and to improve your acceptance from the rejection. So that's another suggestion I would say. I hope this video helpful for you, those who are aspiring for and coming to Japan. So stay tuned. We'll share some more insights and suggestions about life in Japan and working in Japan, all these things in a more detailed and interesting way. I'll try to improve the information as much as I do recent videos. So see you next video and wish you all the best. Have a good day.